Hey there. Welcome to Automation Nation Inside Barnum podcast. This is episode 2 today. I'm Cody with the Barnum Applications Group, and today we're going to be talking about Barnum Cares
Yes,
with Kelly.
with Kelly. Yes.
So, Barnum Cares, I guess really what Barnum Cares is just a buzzword around the office for a
Yes.
lot of people. They don't really know like 100% what it is. I myself probably only scratched the surface of knowing what it is, but like to kind of just, I don't know, think about how it started, what it is, who's all part of it,
What it
or
means.
whatnot, what it means to
Sure,
us.
sure.
So,
Barnum Cares. Barnum Cares is an employee run outreach program where employees take care of employees, essentially. Back in the day, Ken Koza Sr. ran a business that was run like a family. So
mhm,
everyone felt like family, felt like they needed to take care of each other like family. And the trend continued with Ken and Ed. Um, Employees have always taken care of employees, whether there was death in someone's family or a sickness or a surgery. All employees have always taken care of employees. But back in 2017, we had two employees that lost parents both in the same weekend. Back before we had company emails on phone, back before we shared phone numbers, cell phone numbers, but through the old phone fan out system, by 11 o'clock on Saturday, we had secured enough meals for both families and we were able to take care of them. That Monday, we came together and said, you guys, we've gotten so big that this is getting very difficult to respond instead of react. So, with Ken and Ed's blessing, we put an email out to all employees. We gathered a list of people interested in sitting on the team. We gathered a list of people interested in cooking in emergencies, people that can do yard work, fix things, and Barnum Cares was born. So in 2017, we got organized. We assigned people different positions. We have committees so that in the event there was a death or two deaths, how it came, we would be able to respond very quickly rather than reacting and everybody scrambling.
sure. So it's a
So
lot more organized than just some people who want to help out.
it is exactly that. It's 9 people sit on the board. In 2021, with Ed Koza's encouragement, we became a nonprofit. We filed necessary paperwork, voted in the board, follow certain protocols, and we now operate as a nonprofit.
Okay, so that's
Um,
pretty
it,
big, more
it's
than and
very big.
just a side hobby for some
It
employees
really
to actually.
is. It really is. And it's kind of cool because it's not a separate entity. It's run by employees that all have jobs. We all have things we need to do. And we just carve out little sections of our days, weeks, and months to participate and make sure that every Barnum employee is taken care of. So while we're 9 people strong on our board, we're 250 people plus
Mhm.
that we need to make the program run.
I mean, I already in just that little intro from you, I've
Yes,
already learned a little more about it than I already did.
yes.
It's a lot more structured than I thought,
It's very
which
structured.
is awesome.
It's very structured, and we have to be. We operate on a very slim budget. That's why we try to keep it to Barnum employees. There are things that come up outside of our direct Barnum family that we feel is important and important that we put the Barnum Cares name out there. But for the most part, we try to just take care of the Barnum family. Um, it's difficult to secure the funds. We wish our budget was endless because there's so much you could do, but we do operate on quite a slim budget.
Now, is that budget part of Barnum's overall? We allocate this for for Barnum Cares, or is it like crowd funded or
It's employee funded.
yeah?
We're selling Barnum Care gear. We're selling T-shirts, making it $1 or $2 a shirt.
So that
We're
stuff all pads it for sure.
it
But is
does.
there also just a standard
There
allocated
is not.
budget? So it
We
is.
operate strictly on fundraising.
Okay.
So when you see us at the golf outing, while everyone's golfing and we're pushing the 50-50 tickets, or or the basket raffles. That's what we're trying to pad.
And you're selling those Lions playoff tickets.
The Lions
last year.
playoff tickets last year, that was the biggest surprise, and that was our biggest fundraiser we've ever had.
I was going to say everyone jumped on
That
one.
was so cool. There's diehard Lion fans, but then there's those that come along when things are good, and everybody was trying to get in on that
Oh,
because
yeah. I mean, it was like $1,000 to go to that
it,
playoff game, and
it
they were giving
was.
people an opportunity for
And we
20
did,
bucks or
we
whatever to put
did,
their
and
name
we
in a
knew
hat.
we had to sell a certain amount to break even, and we surpassed that by so much. And then there was the second round. Then we
Mhm.
were able to get that
Double
second
down
round.
on it. Yeah.
And that was incredible. That was incredible. And then we did like the faster horses, thinking, ooh,
Oh, yeah.
this is a great thing. And that one ended up just being fun for somebody when they want it. But sometimes you just have to do things because it's fun.
Yeah.
And
You gotta invest in,
yes,
getting some people some activities, some fun,
yes,
a little bit of it's marketing at the end of the day for
it is.
yourself as well.
It is.
Because if Barnum Cares is always just asking for money, then
We,
people are
yes,
might pump the brakes once in a while. But if
yes,
they're also giving back to the people who are helping out, who are
right.
donating things like that, people are going to be more inclined in the future to just continue.
To continue, because gone are the days where their canisters sitting out and it says please give to Barnum Cares. If we don't make it a little bit of fun, it's hard to raise the funds. But we also do things just because it's a fun day. The golf outing last year, for instance, the Barnum hole, we did the heckle hole where we did it as an Oktoberfest / Hecktoberfest, and we heckled every person that can. I'm sure you were one of them. We heckled every person that was hitting on that hole, and Ed Koza got involved, and it was a blast. And we did not make a nickel on that hole. Everyone comes up and they're like, "What do we need to do? Where do we buy?" And what we're like, "No, it's just a fun hole today." So
I like it.
it was good. So sometimes we have to throw the fun in there. It can't always be about funding Barnum Cares. Sometimes it just needs to be a morale booster, and we try
For sure.
to throw those in here and there.
Um, so you got 9 people that
Mm-hmm.
kind of run it around the board.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like volunteer lists, or is there other stuff that other just random employees come and help out with Barnum Cares all the time? Or is
Yes.
it mainly just you 9 and then, you know, maybe you reach out every once in a while?
There's the basic 9, but for each different activity that we do compile our list of volunteers. We have a few on the side that that are our standards that we go to, but we had to be very careful with who sits on the board and who's in our meetings. There's a lot of personal information that's discussed,
Yeah.
whether an employee name comes up or it's just a situation, and we try to be extremely respectful when we're dealing with anything that has to do with people.
Mhm.
First of all, people don't want to ask for help. Second of all, they don't want to receive the help and have it be a big
Yeah,
showcase.
be public.
Be public. So we have our list. For instance, we just did our Halloween trick or treating, and we did the whole tech lobby. We had set up as fun games and crafts for the kids. The apps lab was set up for more of a spooky walk. We had a photo opportunity in one of the breakout conference rooms, and the big tech training room we set up as a little bit less scary of a fun walkthrough. Well, we couldn't do that with 9 people. We all, like I said, we have very busy jobs to do, and that's number one. We need to take care of Barnum first. So we put together a boo crew, and it was a crew of people from every group in this company, and they gave their lunches. They came in late, or they stayed late, came in early, carved out little pieces of time to set up and break down. And we could not do it without that amount of people. The golf outing, that's another one. We can't run all of the basket raffles. We can't run all of the ticket sales
Mhm.
or the Barnum tent without additional people.
Yeah.
So there are groups of people that, for instance, would maybe want to go to the golf outing, but they're not big golfers, but they want to help out. We actually had a few people this year say, next year I'm not golfing, I'm just working the Barnum tent. It was just so much fun. So yes, we're 9 people strong, but we rely heavily on lists and lists of people. We have people that, if there's an emergency with the family, whether it's a surgery or a death in the family and food is a necessity,
Mhm.
we have our group of people that we can email and say we need food for whatever, these are what we need. And
Yeah, you said you had volunteers for cooking, for repairs,
yes,
things like that that people are willing
yes.
to help out with.
Moving, if somebody is a quick move and needs to move quickly, we have people that do that. We'll have people come to us if they have, we'll say like an extra set of children's furniture and say, can you find out if there's anyone in the company that needs this before I just donate it somewhere?
Mhm.
So we have all of our people that we can go to and very quietly get this person taken care of for that. That's one of our big things we say is quietly making a difference. Most people can't name the 9 people that sit on the Barnum Cares board, and that's quite on purpose. We would never deliver anything to anybody with a big parade. It's always very quietly, whether
Mhm.
we ship to somebody's house, whether we slip it onto a desk, whether we call them into a manager's office and quietly give to it. It has nothing to do with us getting credit for any of it. And not one person that sits on the board would want credit for any of it. So you'll hear me say we a lot because it definitely is a we. There's a
Mhm.
lot of I's that make things happen, but as a whole, it's we that are able to get things done.
And you guys aren't going out there with the 4-foot check,
No,
having people
okay,
take
well,
pictures with you to
well,
prove that
I'll
you're,
say
oh, we
yes.
get you a donation.
On normal day, yes, but when we did the scholarships
So no,
last
scholarships
year,
are something to
we
brag
did.
about, though.
We
You
did
do,
brag about
yes.
the scholarships. When we handed those out, we were able to partner with marketing, and we had the big Egg McMahon checks, and that. So yes,
Because
we
people
did do.
receiving them and people giving them are usually proud when it's
Yes,
scholarships.
that was
but-
that was a fun one. We gave 3 out last year. We were able to give out 5 this year.
That's awesome.
So it's pretty cool. So yes, for the most part, it's very quiet. We've even put things inside cars before. So keep your car doors locked, folks. You don't want
Barnum
Barnum
Cares
Cares.
might be throwing little goodies in there.
The little elves are handing things out.
Um, I guess there's a lot of reoccurring things with Barnum Cares too. And
There
I
are.
noticed like right now there's a food drive going
Yes.
on. Christmas, there's gifts.
Yes.
Obviously the Halloween's been a couple ones a few years, but I don't know if
Yes.
there's too much with that Halloween one being like a fundraiser or any type of donation gathering or anything.
No.
But that's more of a fun event.
Yes.
But based on events that are, this is on the schedule every year.
Yes.
This that did you guys try to do? What are kind of those big ones?
We start with the right around Earth Day. We do the Kensington Road cleanup, and that's been one that we started when we first formed the group. When we were asked, "What's something you'd like to do
That's
in the
a real
community?"
nice, easy, get your
It
way
was.
into some community service type
It
of thing
was.
for sure.
It was our first thing that we did, and the first year, I think it took us about 4 hours to do it. And we do from the Barnum entrance all the way to the state park entrance. So it's about 1 mile of cleanup, but it's amazing how much garbage.
Yeah, if anyone's driven down that stretch before,
yes.
yeah.
It gets stuck along the fence there at Island Lake State Park. And so to us, it was very visible. And if you're coming into Barnum, it's
Mhm.
very noticeable. So that was one of the first things that we started. So we do the Kensington Road cleanup. We've become so good that we're able to be in and out of here in 2 hours.
That's impressive.
Now this year we were ready to be in and out of here in 2 hours, and a group out of South Lyon had come out prior to it, and it was already cleaned up. So we really improved our time this year because it took us 0 hours.
Volunteers
to do
volunteering
it.
for the volunteers.
Yes, yes. So we do our Kensington Road cleanup. We do backpacks for foster kids in the local community, and we do that
Oh,
early
for the
in
start of
August
school?
for the start of school. And this year we filled 15 backpacks, and then we also supplied them with extra pens, pencils, paper, whatever they needed. And another big need for that particular service is underclothing, underpants, socks. And what a sad thing to think is that that's the important thing, but we do try to carve out a chunk of money during the backpack season to make sure that their closet at Heart's Cry is full, and so that they have
Okay.
what they need for these kids to go back to school.
Mhm.
We do a summer lunch program. In the past, during our employee lunch, we've collected macaroni and cheese, packets of macaroni and cheese, because all of the kids on the free lunch program in the local schools during the summer sometimes find themselves without a lunch.
Okay.
So we try to pair with Bountiful Harvest in downtown Brighton. And rather than giving them specific foods this year, we just donated a chunk of money to them. And I don't recall the exact amount of lunches, but I think it was close to 500 lunches we were able
Oh,
to
wow.
provide for the summer. Um, in the fall, we do the Halloween, and I'm going to forget things. We do the Halloween, which is just a fun thing, and it's just for employees to bring in. And if you have a chance to look at the Barnum Facebook page or the Barnum page, it's incredible what we do. Right now, we're heavy into the Gleaners Food Drive, which is the local food bank, which also supplies. They ship out. It goes all over the state
Sure,
of
they're big
Michigan.
enough that it
Big enough.
spreads.
So, and we get little mini competitions going. So there's a few mini competitions going. And right now, if you walk into the warehouse, you'll see, I think we have 5 pallets of food already, 2 pallets of water. Um, and we're hoping to pass our goal of last year. And when I say pallets, they're boxes, I'm not tall, but they come up quite high. I mean, they're huge
It's
boxes.
not just one layer on a
It's
pallet. They're
no,
also
it
tall.
is tall. It is loaded up. And last year, between food and money, we supplied it 8,000 meals
Jeez.
for families. So that's a huge thing. And that then falls right into our giving tree, which employees are able to, virtually pick an ornament off a tree, supply a gift for a child with the same Heart's Cry foster services out of Whitmore Lake. And we are able to supply presents. Last year we did 45 gifts. And this year it looks like there's 52 on the list. And then again, we also stock their closet for underclothing with anything that comes up. And so the gift gets wrapped and gets presented to the service. And if anyone wants to be included in their Christmas party, you have to go through a whole process. But we've seen pictures from it, and it's an incredible event.
Hmm.
And it's even like the food drive. You put a can of corn in the box, a can of corn is going into somebody's hands. You put a present under the giving tree, that present is getting handed to a student. I'm sorry, to a child. We're really taking care of at Barnum. They take such good care of us. There's nothing that we need, and it's so important, I think, for us to go ahead and give back. And that's what we see with these. These are our 2 really big ones, and what a perfect time of year
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
do that. So we try to get involved. We try to get employees involved, and we're real excited to watch those bins fill up and watch those ornaments get picked and see the presents under the tree. It's really cool to watch.
Um, Now, for funding for a lot of that stuff too, you
Mhm.
said a lot of it is kind of either donations or you sell certain things.
Mhm.
Now, like, do the Barnum Cares shirts, the swag for that,
Yes.
is that stuff always available for Barnum employees or other people to purchase, or is it kind of like every once in a while we'll put it out and you can
Yeah,
get it?
we
Or
try to do it once, maybe twice a year. We started using a new vendor this year, and we weren't sure how it was going to go. And it actually worked out very nicely. They did a wonderful job. And the thing is, we're not making a killing on this stuff. We're making a couple bucks a
yeah,
shirt. But it's what's cool about it is we weren't sure if the Barnum gear was going to be approved for salesmen to wear or apps guys to wear out on sales calls, and Ed approved it. So we're so lucky with that. We've had salesmen have conversations come up with their customers because they're like, tell me what that's
yeah,
about. And so we had one salesman recently that had their customer reach out and said, I remember you were in and you were wearing that Cares Group shirt. This is what's happening in my family. Is it possible you could help? And of course, we voted as we do per our little book, and we approved it. And we were able to, because of one shirt, we were able to provide for this family as they were going through an incredibly sad chapter. So it's cool. We used to do, and we've done them through marketing now, but the Cares Group used to do like a swag exchange. Like if you order shirts and you think it's going to fit, or you
yep,
order and it's not quite right for you, but it's brand new. So we would put it on this rack and anybody could come in and take whatever they wanted. And we'd have stuff left over at the end. And we actually found a group through a daughter of one of our care team members. And she had done some work for an organization in Africa. And we got permission and all of the leftover swag we were able, and Barnum gear too.
Yeah.
We were able to send it. So our Barnum gear is being worn in
That's kind
Africa.
of cool.
It's real
And
cool.
it's like you always hear about that, like the classic, like the extra
Yes.
Super Bowl shirts and stuff like
Yes.
that, always going
It's
out.
so cool.
It's nice to.
And it was fun. It was one, we adopted a troop in an Afghanistan air base. It was a brother of one of our Barnum employees. And we received a list of things they would need, which we looked at the list and thought, what are they going to do with hairnets? Or what are they going to, what do they need all this for? But we filled it. We filled a trunk. The only thing we fell short on is somebody wanted Girl Scout cookies and it was off season.
Off-season.
But we went to Walmart and Walmart has a knockoff Girl Scout cookies. So we sent that. But in there we had a Barnum Cares flag and Barnum gear. And so they sent a picture back in the Barnum Cares gear holding the flag on the airstrip in Afghanistan. And it was like, this is why we do this. This is
That's really
why
cool.
we all do this. So that was a cool one. So our gear has made it many, many places.
Is there any place you mentioned there's a Barnum Cares Facebook page? Is there any other place? Is there like a sub tab on Barnum's website or anything like that where people can see or read more about Barnum Cares just in general? Do they want to see pictures from
Yeah,
events
I
or
know.
just a synopsis?
It's coming with our newer website. That will be part of it, and there will actually be a part for employees to fill out
Will there be a request? Okay.
Yeah, so that is our goal, that eventually we will be to that. The Barnum Cares page is private for Barnum employees and families only. We try to keep that private,
Yep.
but marketing is real good with sharing our good news, and so you'll see some of it show up in different LinkedIn posts and on the Barnum page. But our goal is to eventually have a Barnum Cares tab that will let people kind of know what our mission is
Sure.
and what we're all about.
Oh, that's really good. That just having it there alone is just like the shirt. It's a good
Yes.
question or a conversation starter too.
Yes.
Just instead of seeing it in passing, someone might just catch at the corner of their eye on
Right.
on the web page too.
Right. So it's kind of it gets it out there. Our human resource director, when she does the onboarding with everybody, they get a little packet with a Barnum Care shirt, a letter kind of explaining it. But in the midst of hiring in, you
Yeah.
shove it in all your stuff
Yeah.
and
But
you
just
kind
aware
of,
this program does exist.
it does
and-
exist and
yeah.
it's here. And we can't have our eyes and ears everywhere. We rely on groups to come to us, managers to come to us
Mhm.
and let us know of different hardships, or sometimes people are just going through a really bad section of life. Whether that means we're giving them a dinner card and telling them to go have fun on us, whether we're sending them to a spa for a day, whether we're sending them a care basket or a meal. Sometimes people just want prayers. We actually have a team that will do that if that's what somebody is asking for.
Oh, and I know you guys put out the new little gift packages for anyone who has a child.
Yes,
I got
you
one.
got
We had
the
our
new-
daughter. One of our other apps guys just got one. He had his son a couple weeks ago. and
Yeah,
It's a cute little
it is.
gesture.
We celebrate babies. We celebrate marriages. We celebrate significant work anniversaries. We celebrate significant birthdays. So you can't turn, 40, 50 around here without your cube being decorated or your office or receiving something in the mail, because that's what's become tricky for us. Is Barnum is getting so big and no longer, Michigan, Ohio, a little bit of Indiana. We're now all over. So how do we pull in those employees and make them feel like they're still part of this Barnum family?
Mhm.
So that's our only way at this point of doing it. They're able to participate in all of our food drives, our the Giving Tree.
Hmm.
There's a PayPal that they can go through. We just started using Square, which you see at a lot of your smaller markets. So you can call it in. We can punch in a bank card. We can scan it. We used it at the golf outing. That was our first time trying it, and I don't have any money in my pocket wasn't an excuse at the golf outing.
Yeah.
So that was our first time trying that. So it's been tricky trying to keep this giant group still feeling like a family. So what we're finding is we're having to do it in little pods of caring. But
Hmm.
we just want people to know that it's still a big Barnum family, whether we see these people daily or whether they're, out in Alabama. We really are one Barnum family, and we've never been treated any other way. Barnum, you're never a number at Barnum. It's a big family, and families take care of families. So that's sort of what we're doing on a very small scale.
I feel like I could talk to 100 different people at Barnum, and everyone has that same thing to say.
They do.
Like, it's not just this fluff that
It's
the people who've
not.
been here for 30 years are saying that, or the management's going to say that to try to swindle people to work for them. That is
It,
the common talking point across all employees.
it
That it's
is.
a family and everyone gets taken care of, and regardless how big we are,
Hmm.
you know, someone's got your back, not just micromanaging you,
No.
hovering over you.
Exactly. And when somebody asks you how are you doing, they truly want to know,
Hmm.
how are you doing? And if you're not doing okay, what can we do? What can we do to help? And we're doing it little nicks and pieces here and there, whether we're doing our Michigan State tailgate lunch and little rivalry. I guess we should probably throw Ohio State into that one at some point, and
We're gonna have to
we're
have a
going to
whole
throw a
bunch of
whole
them in
lot.
there.
It's going to be the Big Ten and then some. But we try to boost morale because the bottom line is we're all extremely busy. We have incredibly stressful jobs. Um, we are expected to do a lot, but are taken care of in return. So our goal is to try to make, if you can have a light Friday with a little bit of fun, tossing bags out at the cornhole at a tailgate lunch, then that's what we'll do. We're going to take the time to try to do little things like that to kind of keep us feeling like we're
Hmm.
one big family still. We have the hardships, we have the sad things that come across, but we try to celebrate, like you said, the babies and the fun, because it can't all be just because something tragic happened.
Yeah.
We have to try to add a little light to it too. Celebrate the good.
Now, if someone, if obviously, Barnum Cares is directed towards employees. Now, if an employee is watching this or listening to this and they feel, there's a circumstance where they might feel they need to come
Hmm.
chat, but it's not something they're just willy nilly willing to tell their manager or
Right.
tell their coworker. Is there certain contacts or people that are, publicly known that, hey, just come to me
Hmm.
if you feel comfortable? Like, is there a certain path those type of people should take if they
There's
do need to come talk to
Yeah,
someone?
they can always come to me directly, or if they know of anyone else that sits on the Barnum Care teams, they can feel free to do that. They can also send an email to barnumcares@hhbarnum.com, and that email goes to just the board only, and we all have rules set up that if we're out of the office, that email will not be forwarded.
Okay,
Anything that
that's
comes,
nice to know.
yes, we all have had to set up rules for that because we need to respect people's privacy.
Yeah, like we said at the beginning, that's a big hurdle for a lot of people to get over is
Hmm.
asking for help.
They don't like asking and they don't like getting the help. So we tiptoe very carefully around that and try to be as respectful
Mhm.
as we can about that. And nothing leaves the conference room when we talk. That's why we're very careful about who sits on the board and how extended we get, because it cannot become lunchroom chatter, and it never will. It never will
That's
be.
great.
So come to any one of us, and we encourage it, because if we don't hear about it, we don't know about it. We can't help if we don't know about it. So we would be, yeah, the big stuff you hear about. It's sometimes the little stuff, the little struggles that
Hmm.
people are going through that you don't know about.
Yeah, that could completely turn someone's week around by
Exactly.
whatever, filling their tank
I-
if
and that's
necessary.
and that's and it's as simple as that, It is as simple as that. Someone's driving on bald tires and they're making decent money here, but life is
Yeah.
expensive. So that set of tires keeps going down and down on the priority list. If, we have such good resources, we can't always fix or help with something that's going on in someone's life, but we have a good group of people and we have lots of resources on the outside, whether it's pointing somebody to a certain group at their specific church. Like, I can't help you. We're not attorneys, we're not counselors, but we can point you in the right direction if it's something that you need. We can get you some answers. We have enough resources to get that person the help that they need. So while it's not always Barnum Cares, sometimes it's just a direction we give someone.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's good stuff overall. I mean, there's nothing about a group like that
Mm-hmm.
that isn't uplifting and just kind of generally just great to have in your place of work,
Yes.
because you're leaving your family, leaving your friends to come to work, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't want work to just feel so,
Yes.
I don't know, awkward, monotonous. But when you
Right.
got friends and everyone looking over your back the whole time,
And that's
it's nice. It's nice to
lean
know.
on the weight of the company, lean on the weight of your coworkers, because that's what we're trying to promote. Can't do it alone.
I mean,
Nobody can do it alone.
that whole thing kind of segues directly into our first podcast episode I did with Scott,
Mm-hmm.
just talking about how Barnum in general just isn't just some distributor or some sales company. It really is different.
It
And
is.
hopefully our little podcast here can kind of show people that we're a
Mm-hmm.
little different, whether it's these type of conversations that we're talking about things here at Barnum that we're doing, or I mean, even getting into technical conversations where we're going to tell you about more stuff than you ever thought your distributor
Right.
would actually have knowledge on.
Right.
So
We often hear about the special sauce that Barnum has to offer. And I think all the people that you're going to sit down with across from you at this table are going to fill in the pieces for why, what makes you so great. Everyone, oh, it's the greatest company you'd ever want to work for. Why? This is why. Things like this, people caring about their coworkers, people caring about their families, what they're going through. We've had some incredible tragedy at this company, losing one of our owners. How do you come out of that? How do you come out of that? We weren't all on that top line team. We weren't on the emergency team. We all weren't the first responders, so to speak. But what we learned is that as a group, we could support those that were in those critical positions and come out of it. Try to come out of it the best we can. Support those that we could. Had a little bit of an issue with our system a few months ago. Same thing. We can't all help. We don't know how to help or fix it, but we can support those that are doing it, those on the front line.
it does seem like we really don't have that mentality of, well, it's their problem.
None of
You
that.
know, whatever, IT's got it. No, it seems like everyone rallies behind IT
They
when there's an
do.
IT problem.
They
Everyone
do.
rallies behind management when something's going sour. I mean, got the ball dropped on us about becoming employee owned and
Yes.
getting purchased, and people were struggling with that.
Yes.
And everyone rallied behind him and let him know that it's actually an awesome situation for us, not this,
Yes.
terrifying, everyone's getting fired situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because all we ever knew was the Koza family. That
Yeah.
was all we knew, and that's what we loved. And we didn't want to change it. So until Ed stood in front of us and said, "Look, you guys, this is the best thing.
If you've trusted me for the last 30
Trust me
years,
now."
trust me now.
And you know what? We do. We trust them because they've never given us a reason to not trust them. So if we can do these little things, and you see everyone doing their job and everyone's excited about doing their job and everyone wants to do a great job because we're treated so well. So why shouldn't we treat each other the same way? And that's what we try to do with the Barnum Cares group. Just
Absolutely.
little piece that we can. When tragedy strikes,
Mhm.
we're there, unfortunately. We had one of our ladies we sent a basket to emailed the group back to thank us for the basket and appreciated it. And she said, "Boy, it's not a good sign when you get one of these baskets." Like, she knew about the baskets all along, and she was like, "Wow, it must be bad if I'm getting one of these baskets." But yet let her know that we're caring about her, we're thinking about her, and
Hmm.
enough. And we try to align what we send out to the person. While we have our general thing, we plant a tree in the national forest in Michigan, or we adopt a star. We have certain protocol that's there so that we can just respond immediately in certain situations. If we're sending out a care basket for a specific reason, we try to gear it toward that person, find out a little bit about that person, and whether it's a funny coloring book, on
Hmm.
people of Walmart or whatever it would be, or different things that that person likes. We try to gear it toward them a little bit so they know a little bit of thought went into it.
Yeah.
Kind of getting known for our baskets,
So you
whether
don't feel like the classic, we'll reward you with a pizza party
I
style
know. I know.
mentality.
Here's a coffee, Barnum coffee mug and some hot cocoa. Good luck.
Yeah.
No, we've had to get creative with some of the things that have come our way, and we have a big enough group and a lot of ideas that it seems like we have never really struggled for an idea.
That's
So
good.
that works out good.
It's real good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're excited to see more stuff that Barnum Cares does. See the
Mm-hmm.
outcome of the food drive. I know departments are all competing with each other,
Yes.
and see what kind of Christmas gifts some kids get this year. And obviously, if people want to learn more, or donate, or whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
they got some contacts to reach out to.
They
And
do. And because we're a nonprofit, if a lot of people that need to donate prior to the end of the year, we're able to give you the receipt you need for your taxes. So that's one of the benefits of going to the nonprofit.
that's nice. That's a
Yeah.
good little perk too.
So it's nice. Yeah, it works out good.
Well, I think we covered a lot. I
Me
think some
too.
people are going to be able, if they listen or watch this, they'll be able to know a little bit more about Barnum Cares than just a standard little email blast or a
Mm-hmm.
little footnote or chit chatting with someone on the side. So I
Right.
think someone can really deep dive into us a little bit here now. But um, I think we had a good chat.
Yes.
Thanks for joining me.
Sure. No problem. I used to get on my report card, talks too much, and I guess now I'm putting it to good use.
Yeah. Um, I guess we'll wrap that up here for this
Mm-hmm.
episode.
Yes.
And if anybody has questions, doesn't have Barnum contacts, feel free to comment on this on YouTube, and we can reach out to you and
Yes.
give you contact information, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. And make sure you're liking and subscribing to our YouTube channel here. And there'll be more episodes, more fun people
Look
to talk
forward
to,
to it.
more stuff to learn. And we might even be doing some giveaways on this podcast too. So
Fun.
make sure you're paying attention.
There'll be a test.
Yes. Alrighty. Well, thanks again, Kelly.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Yes.